If you've ever tried running generative AI tasks, you know the usual hurdles: expensive monthly cloud subscriptions and the constant worry of sending sensitive data over the internet. By the end of this video, we are going to configure an Asus UGen 300 to run a heavy video summarization model locally, right on your desk. Step 1 is checking your hardware. You will need a host device with an available USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C port to handle the necessary data bandwidth. You don't need to replace your entire setup with an expensive AI-native PC. This single connection brings high-end AI inference to the machine you already own. Let's look at the physical hardware we're deploying. The UGen 300 has a highly slim footprint, and it pulls an efficient 2.5 watts of power during typical workloads. This layout breaks down the internal specs. The core component here is the Halo 10H processor, which delivers 40 AI TOPS, trillion operations per second, specifically dedicated to large language and vision models. When you process those models locally instead of routing them through a server, you eliminate the need for ongoing cloud service payments entirely. You also cut out the network wait times. Operations execute with zero latency, and because your files never leave your desk, your data privacy is guaranteed. Owning the hardware means you move from renting remote computing power to generating as much local output as you need, whenever you need it. To get started, simply plug the UGen 300 into the Type-C port on your host laptop. Standard NPUs pull from the host's central RAM, draining the pool under heavy load and slowing the system. The UGen 300 uses its own 8GB LPDDR4 memory. It bypasses this bottleneck, processing heavy AI workloads externally and leaving the host system's RAM completely untouched. This dedicated architecture acts as a secondary engine. It allows older, non-AI legacy machines to balance their workloads and handle complex pipelines without freezing up. Now that the hardware is connected, let's look at the operating system. The device supports Windows, Linux, and Android ecosystems. If you are running a Windows machine, make sure to check for the specific driver updates scheduled for release in mid-May 2026. Navigate to the support page, download the latest installer package, and run the executable to initialize the device on your system. This interface is the UGen Utility Dashboard, your primary control center for managing the device and exploring the library grid of available models. Right out of the box, the system natively supports major AI frameworks, including TensorFlow, PyTorch, and ONNX. You will find over 100 pre-trained models already loaded in the utility, which gives you a straightforward way to validate your setup immediately. To run a task, select a generative AI model from the grid, like our video summarization tool, and click Load to push it to the accelerator. By providing pre-configured environments and direct model loading, the utility removes the usual configuration headaches for developers and enterprise teams. You bypass the tedious environment setup phases. What used to be a multi-day deployment project now takes a few minutes from download to execution. Let's put the configuration to the test by running a demanding, fully local task, generating a summary of an hour-long video. We'll feed the video file into our loaded model. You can see the text summary generating on the screen in real time. This dynamic bar chart tracks our system resources during the generation. Notice that while the AI processing output is maxed out, the host computer's CPU and RAM utilization stay incredibly low. Because the UGen 300 is absorbing the entire computational load, your primary computer is completely free to handle other heavy multitasking assignments without stuttering. By keeping the AI processing isolated on the external hardware, you get high-speed inference without compromising the daily usability of your machine. In minutes, we added 40 TOPS of dedicated processing power to a standard laptop, installed the necessary frameworks, and executed a complex generative AI model locally. If you want to push these capabilities further, the next step is to join the Halo developer community. There, you can access step-by-step tutorials, study reference designs, and exchange insights with other developers to build your own custom edge applications. By shifting the workload to a dedicated edge device, generative AI stops being a tool locked behind a cloud subscription and becomes an entirely private asset you control directly from your desk.